Mario by Andreas Xirtus. 2023. Once upon a time, in the Mushroom Kingdom, the notorious Bowser had captured Princess Peach and held her captive in his dark and imposing castle. Mario, the valiant plumber, embarked on a heroic quest to rescue her. After many trials and tribulations, Mario managed to defeat Bowser, liberate Princess Peach, and claim victory over the tyrant. However, something unexpected happened when Mario took over Bowser's castle. The power that once resided within Bowser's iron fist seemed to seep into Mario's very being. The castle, once a symbol of fear and oppression, became the seat of Chairman Mario's newfound authority. And thus, a new regime was born. In the depths of the Mushroom Kingdom, a chilling darkness fell upon the land as Mario's iron grip tightened. Among those who suffered under his tyrannical rule were the Burbos, Goombas, and the Mini-Goombas. The Parabones and the Pokios, the Spinies, Stairface Ogres, the UFO and Koopa Troopas, the Toppers and the Harriets and the Noble Robo-Brood, and many others. They were rounded up and thrown into the dreaded Goomba Gulags, where despair and fear loomed like a constant shadow. Within the confines of the prison walls, the air was heavy with sadness and the echoes of lost freedom. The prisoners, once innocent inhabitants of the Mushroom Kingdom, now bore the weight of their unjust incarceration. Their voices whispered stories of pain and longing, their spirits aching for the return of brighter days.
"We were simply trying to survive," said Burbo, while whispering. "To find our place in this world. Yet, we were branded as enemies and locked away like criminals. I miss the open fields, the sunlight on my back. Will we ever see those days again?" "It's unjust, I tell you," one of the Goombas said. "We were just following orders, doing what we knew. Mario saw us as mere obstacles, mere stepping stones on his path to power. But we had lives, hopes, and dreams too."
"We may be small, but our hearts hold a deep sense of injustice," said one of the mini-Goombas, all teary-eyed. "We were innocent pawns in Chairman Mario's game, stepped on and discarded without a second thought. How can one person possess so much cruelty?"
"Our lives were shattered, our families torn apart," Parabone said, her voice filled with bitterness. "Mario tore through our homes, leaving nothing but destruction in his wake. And now, we suffer in these cold cells, our spirits fading with each passing day. Chairman Mario may have silenced our cries, but our determination remains unyielding," said Parabones. Her voice filled with bitterness. "We will rise from these chains, united against oppression. One day, the Mushroom Kingdom will remember our names, not as prisoners but as heroes."
As the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, the prisoners found solace in their shared struggles. Their conversations carried tales of resilience, of hopes and dreams that refused to be extinguished.
Topper whispered to Harriet. "We must not lose sight of who we are, Harriet. Despite the darkness that surrounds us, we still possess the power of unity and resilience. Mario may have taken our freedom, but he cannot take away our spirit." Harriet nodded. "You're right, Topper. We must find strength in one another, supporting and uplifting each other through this ordeal. Together, we can endure and rise above the tyranny that plagues our kingdom. Our imprisonment may be Chairman Mario's attempt to silence us," Robo-Brood said with determination. "But he underestimates the power of the oppressed. We are fighters, survivors, and our voices will not be silenced. The Mushroom Kingdom will know our suffering, and they will rise against Mario's tyranny."
In the depths of the Goomba Gulags, a silent revolution was brewing, fueled by the shared pain and longing for justice. The prisoners held onto the glimmer of hope, their spirits refusing to be extinguished. The story of the Burbos, Goombas, Mini-Goombas, Parabones, Pokios, Spinies, Stairface Ogres, UFO, 8-bit Koopa Troopas, Topper, Harriet, Robo-Brood, and the countless others who suffered under Mario's rule would echo through the annals of Mushroom Kingdom history. Their resilience and determination would become a testament to the indomitable spirit of those who yearn for freedom and justice.
Monologue of Solban Goomba. As the sun timidly rises over the desolate landscape of the Mushroom Kingdom Goomba Gulags, I, a lowly Goomba, prepare myself for yet another day shrouded in oppression and despair. The routine of survival has become etched into the very fabric of my existence, each day merging into a monotonous cycle of hardship and longing. I rise from my cold, hard bunk, the weight of weariness clinging to my tired limbs. The air is heavy with the stench of desperation, as fellow prisoners shuffle through the dimly lit corridors. The Goomba Gulag's walls, looming like silent sentinels, confine us to this desolate existence, eroding our hopes and dreams with each passing moment. Breakfast, a meager offering of stale bread and watery soup, barely sustains our feeble bodies. We stand in line, our spirits dampened by the knowledge that this pitiful sustenance is our only solace in this unforgiving world. Hunger gnaws at our stomachs, a constant reminder of the scarcity that governs our lives. As we toil under the watchful eyes of our captors, these Goomba Gulags becomes a symphony of misery. The sound of shuffling feet and clinking chains fills the air, a cacophony of suffering that no one outside these walls can comprehend. We move like shadows, burdened by the weight of our chains and the weight of our shattered dreams. Through the course of the day, I engage in tasks assigned to me by our captors. The labor is backbreaking, the physical toll further compounded by the knowledge that our efforts serve only to appease the whims of our oppressors. We dig, we carry, we endure, all the while yearning for a taste of freedom, however fleeting. But amidst the despair, glimmers of humanity emerge. A stolen moment of camaraderie, a whispered word of encouragement, or a shared morsel of warmth amidst the bitter cold. In these fleeting connections, we find solace, reminding ourselves that even in the darkest corners of existence, compassion can still flicker like a fragile flame. As the day draws to a close, we return to the confines of our bleak barracks. Exhaustion wraps its icy grip around my weary body, but sleep is an elusive luxury. Instead, I find myself drifting into a world of introspection, reflecting on the injustices that brought me to this place. I yearn for a future where freedom reigns, where the shackles of oppression are shattered, and where the Mushroom Kingdom is reborn in the embrace of liberty. Tomorrow, the sun will rise again, and we will rise with it. The struggle will continue, the battles fought silently, within the depths of our hearts. We may be Goombas confined to this wretched Goomba Gulags, but our spirits are not so easily confined. We hold on to the hope that one day, the world beyond these walls will recognize our suffering and injustice, and justice will prevail. In the darkness, as I drift into a restless slumber, I cling to the belief that one day, the chains that bind us will crumble, and the Goombas of the Goomba Gulags will rise as a testament to the unyielding spirit of resilience and the unwavering pursuit of freedom.
As the days turned into months, Mario began to change. He morphed from the brave hero who had risked everything to save the Mushroom Kingdom into a ruthless dictator. He adorned himself with a crown and declared himself the ruler of Bowser's kingdom. The citizens, who had once celebrated his victory, soon found themselves under a different kind of tyranny.
Aye, Mario, stand here. A coward turned apprehensive with fear and self-doubt. As the kingdom trembled in the balance. King Koopa. This Bowser cast a dark cloud over my once proud reign. Princess Peach, my beloved captive, held against her will. I yearned to liberate her, to restore order, but doubt consumes me at my core. The Mushroom Kingdom, once an emblem of strength, now falters under the weight of uncertainty. The loyalty of my subjects wavers as questions pierced the air. Doubts infiltrated minds, eroding trust like relentless tides. In the forbidden sewers, a perilous domain, hidden secrets await. I ventured into the unknown, driven by the hope of salvation. Yet, fear lingered, a constant companion on my journey. Beside me, Luigi, my steadfast brother. Luigi S. is a beacon of support. Together, we had faced countless trials, but our powers waned, mere remnants of what they once were. As the challenges mounted, the responsibility pressed upon me, nearly to crush my spirit. Would my past acts be sufficient to sustain our dominion? Or would Bowser's tenacity consume it all? Memories of triumph and glory teased my consciousness, relics of a bygone era. But doubts festered, shrouding my thoughts in shadows. Bowser's grip tightened, his influence spreading like a thick cloud of suffocating fog. Yet, a glimmer of hope persisted, a flicker within my soul. It reminded me of the indomitable Mario, which I once was. I had to summon the strength to face my fears, to rally the resilience within. And so, I stood amidst the crumbling bastions of power, confronted by adversity. The path before me remained uncertain, doubts persisting like stubborn echoes. But I resolved to fight for the Mushroom Kingdom, a pledge unyielding.
Amidst the backdrop of Mario's dictatorial rule over Bowser's kingdom, there lay a sorrowful tale of unrequited love. Mario, having once rescued Princess Peach from Bowser's clutches, believed that their bond would flourish into a harmonious romance. However, fate had different plans. Despite Mario's best efforts to please her, Mario found himself unable to capture Princess Peach's heart. He showered her with gifts, protected her from harm, and granted her every material desire. But no matter what he did, Princess Peach remained distant, her heart yearning for another. Unbeknownst to Mario, Princess Peach had developed a peculiar longing for Bowser, the very villain Mario had defeated. She saw a different side to him, a vulnerability that resonated within her. The brute strength and relentless pursuit had somehow captivated her heart. It was a forbidden love, shrouded in complexities. Mario, ever the loyal and devoted soul, could sense the growing divide between them. He witnessed the stolen glances, the secret encounters, and the subtle smiles they shared. Jealousy gnawed at his heart, and the bitterness grew within him, fueling his transformation from hero to tyrant. In his pursuit of Princess Peach's love, Mario began to lose sight of the principles that once defined him. The desperation to win her affection led him down a treacherous path. He became consumed by power, hoping that dominance over Bowser's kingdom would finally win Princess Peach's heart. But alas, it was a hollow victory. No matter how oppressive his rule, no matter how grand his gestures, Mario could never fill the void in Princess Peach's heart. Her desires remained tethered to Bowser, and it was a truth that wounded Mario's soul deeply. In his heartache, Mario's love turned cold, and the warmth of his heroism faded. He grew distant from the Goombas he once fought for, focusing solely on maintaining his grip on power. The Great Purge became a manifestation of his inner turmoil, a ruthless attempt to silence his own insecurities. The citizens of Bowser's kingdom, aware of Mario's unrequited love and his subsequent transformation, sympathized with his pain but abhorred his methods. They longed for a leader who would govern with compassion and understanding, rather than with an iron fist. Mario's regime was marked by a relentless pursuit of power and control. He employed an extensive network of loyal Toad spies, monitoring the actions and thoughts of his subjects. Anyone suspected of disloyalty or dissent was swiftly dealt with, disappearing into the depths of the castle never to be seen again. The Great Plunge, as it became known, cast a shadow of fear over the kingdom. Friends turned against friends, siblings betrayed siblings, and the air was thick with suspicion. Bowser's former allies, who had once oppressed the Mushroom Kingdom, now found themselves subjected to Mario's cruel whims.
Times have certainly changed, haven't they? Said one of the Goombas. Ever since Mario took over, it feels like we're living in a different world. Aye, that we are. Another Goomba said. I miss the days when King Koopa ruled the land. Say what you will about him, but he kept things in order. You're right, replied the first Goomba. King Koopa had a firm grip on the kingdom, and there was some semblance of stability. But now, with him in the dungeon, it's chaos. I never thought I'd see the day when our king would be thrown behind bars. Another third Goomba said. It's unsettling, to say the least. Who knows what Mario has in store for us? It's not just about King Koopa. The second Goomba replied. Under his rule, we had purpose and direction. We had tasks, duties, and a sense of belonging. Now, we wander aimlessly. True. It feels like we're mere pawns in Mario's game. The first Goomba said to the rest. He arrests Koopa and disrupts everything we once knew. I can't help but wonder if this new order is truly for the better. And what about the rumors we hear? The other third Goomba asked. They say Mario has been rounding up our kind, throwing them into dungeons or forcing them into labor. It's like a nightmare come true. We must be cautious. Keep our heads down and stay out of trouble. The second Goomba shyly proposed. We have families to protect, after all. We can't afford to become casualties of this new regime. But how long can this go on? Asked the first Goomba. How long will we live in fear? We need to find a way to resist, to fight back against Mario's tyranny. We can't allow him to crush us. Agreed, said the third Goomba. We may be Goombas, but we have strength in numbers. If we band together, support one another, maybe we can reclaim some semblance of our lives. We must be patient, strategic. Gather information, seek allies, and wait for the right moment to strike, the second Goomba suggested. The Mushroom Kingdom won't be under Mario's control forever. Until then, we survive, endure. The first Goomba lamented. We'll find a way to adapt, to navigate this uncertain world. And when the time comes, we'll rise and reclaim what's rightfully ours.
The Mushroom Kingdom, once a place of unity and joy, was now fragmented and oppressed. Mario's propaganda machine worked tirelessly to shape the narrative, portraying him as the savior of the kingdom. Dissenters were labeled as enemies of progress, and their voices were silenced through intimidation and violence. The citizens longed for the days of Bowser, as terrible as they had been, for at least there had been a certain order to the chaos. Mario's reign had brought chaos within the order, a twisted version of what had once been. The Goombas yearned for freedom, for a return to the values they held dear. In the depths of his imprisonment, Bowser found solace in the power of words and ideas. Inspired by the works of revolutionary thinkers in the Mushroom Kingdom and ancient dragons, he embarked on a transformative journey of introspection and reflection. Bowser began to craft a manifesto that would challenge the existing power structures in the Mushroom Kingdom. In his manifesto, Bowser delved into the inequalities and injustices that plagued the kingdom under Mario's rule. He passionately argued for redistribution of wealth, the dismantling of class divisions, and the empowerment of the working class. His words resonated with those who had suffered under Mario's oppressive regime, igniting a spark of hope within their hearts. Word of Bowser's manifesto spread like wildfire, captivating the minds of the Mushroom Kingdom's citizens. They saw in his words the vision of a society where power and privilege were shared equitably, where the needs of the many outweighed the desires of the few. It was a vision that appealed to their yearning for a fairer, more just world. Bowser's manifesto became a rallying cry, uniting the Goombas in a movement for radical change. They organized themselves, forming collectives and unions to challenge the status quo. The Mushroom Kingdom became a stage for protests, strikes, and civil disobedience, all driven by the ideals espoused in Bowser's manifesto. Under Mario's increasingly oppressive rule, the Mushroom Kingdom descended into a state of fear and censorship. In a bid to maintain his grip on power, Mario issued a decree banning the Bowser Manifesto, deeming it a dangerous and subversive ideology that threatened his authority. The impact of Bowser's ideas on the Mushroom Kingdom infuriated Mario, who burned every copy of the Bowser Manifesto and arrested Bowsists across the Mushroom Kingdom in massive pogroms. The once subdued Toadstool citizens found their voice and demanded accountability from those in power. Mario, the once beloved hero turned dictator, was faced with a growing tide of discontent that could not be ignored.
Peach, we must be careful. Mario's actions have become increasingly vicious and cruel. It's as if a darkness has consumed him.
I know, Luigi. It's disheartening to witness the changes in him. He used to be our hero, our savior. But now, he's transformed into something monstrous.
We can't let him discover our secret meetings. If he finds out, he won't hesitate to have us arrested. We must speak softly, in hushed tones, and ensure our conversations remain hidden.
I fear for the kingdom, for our Goombas. Mario's iron grip is tightening, and his lust for power knows no bounds. We must find a way to stop him, to protect those we care for.
But how? Mario is cunning and unpredictable. We can't confront him directly. He holds too much sway over the citizens, and they see him as their beloved leader.
Perhaps we can gather evidence of his atrocities, expose the truth to the Goombas. If they see the darkness that has consumed him, they might turn against him.
Luigi, it's a risky proposition. Peach, we must tread carefully. If our plan fails, the consequences could be dire. Mario's wrath knows no bounds.
I understand the risks, Luigi. But we can't allow fear to paralyze us. The Mushroom Kingdom deserves a leader who governs with compassion and fairness. We must strive for that.
Agreed, Peach. Together, we will uncover the truth, gather allies who share our concerns. We'll work discreetly, behind the scenes, until we find a way to restore balance.
We must stay strong, Luigi. The Goombas look to us for hope. We'll find a way to free them from Mario's tyranny and bring back the peace they deserve.
No matter the cost, we won't let Mario's darkness consume us. We'll fight for what's right, for justice, and for a brighter future. We must believe in ourselves and in the strength of our unity.
Together, we'll overcome this darkness, Luigi. The power of friendship and resilience can overcome any obstacle. Let us stay vigilant and united on this path of redemption.
The Mushroom Kingdom became a battleground of ideologies as Mario's loyalists clashed with the supporters of Bowser's vision. The struggle for power and the clash of ideals escalated, resulting in a society torn apart by ideological divisions. As the chaos unfolded, Bowser, the unlikely revolutionary, witnessed the unintended consequences of his manifesto. The idealistic vision he had set forth was twisted and distorted by those who sought to exploit it for their own gain. The very principles of equality and justice that he had championed became perverted in the pursuit of power. Bowser was forced to confront the dark side of his own revolution, as his manifesto became a tool for some to justify violence and oppression. He realized that the path to a fair and just society could not be paved with bloodshed and suppression. In a moment of clarity, Bowser renounced the extremes that his manifesto had inadvertently spawned. He called for a reevaluation of his ideas, urging the Mushroom Kingdom to find a more balanced and inclusive path forward. Some heard his cry, others ignored his pleas and became more radicalized and violent. However, despite the ban, the spirit of Bowser's ideas continued to flicker within the hearts of some citizens. In hushed whispers and hidden corners, a secret movement began to take shape. These brave individuals, known as Bowsists, quietly embraced the forbidden school of thought, finding solace and inspiration in the suppressed manifesto. To evade Mario's watchful eyes, the Bowsists established clandestine meeting places deep within the underground tunnels of the Mushroom Kingdom. These hidden chambers became a sanctuary for intellectual discussions, where the forbidden ideas of Bowser could be explored and shared. In the tunnels, dimly lit by candles and fueled by the hunger for freedom, the Bowsists discussed their beliefs in the principles of equality, justice, and the redistribution of power. They questioned Chairman Mario's regime, challenging the oppressive policies that favored the elite and suppressed the voices of the common folk. But the Bowsists were not safe from the prying eyes of Mario's regime. The dictator, ever vigilant, employed a network of loyal spies to root out any signs of dissent. Fierce dinosaurs, once symbols of peace and harmony in the Mushroom Kingdom, were now turned into instruments of surveillance and intimidation. Mario's minions, armed with the knowledge of the secret Bowsist gatherings, began to hunt down those who dared to challenge his authority. The underground meetings became a delicate dance of secrecy, with constant vigilance required to avoid capture. However, the passion for Bowser's ideals fueled the Bowsists' determination. They understood that true change often requires sacrifice and courage. They were willing to risk their safety and freedom to foster a better future, where the Mushroom Kingdom could flourish under principles of justice and equality.
Goomba 1, struggling, this work is unbearable. My back feels like it's about to snap. Goomba 2, approaching, need a hand there, friend? Goomba 1, surprised, why would you help me? We're all suffering here. Goomba 2, smiling, in the words of our great Bowser, unity is our strength. We're in this together, my friend. Helping each other is the only way we'll survive. Goomba 1, curious, Bowser? But he's been imprisoned. How can he help us now? Goomba 2, whispering, Bowser's spirit is alive within us. In the depths of the tunnels, a community of Bowsists has formed. They carry the flame of Bowser's ideology, fighting for a better future. Goomba 1, intrigued, a community? But how can they make a difference? Goomba 2, handing over a hidden paper, here, read this. It's Bowser's manifesto. It outlines his vision for a just society, where every Goomba has a voice and a place. Goomba 1, eager, I've heard whispers about the manifesto, but I never thought I'd hold it in my hands. Is it true that Bowser has been reborn in the tunnels? Goomba 2, nods, the tunnels hold secrets and hope. Bowser's spirit lives on, guiding us toward a brighter future. The manifesto speaks of equality, freedom, and the end of Mario's oppressive rule. Goomba 1, reading, this is powerful. It speaks to our struggle and our yearning for a better life. But how can we make a difference in this gulag? Goomba 2, determined, we start by educating ourselves and others. We organize, resist, and spread the message of Bowser's ideals. Our unity will be our strength, just as Bowser envisioned. Goomba 1, inspired, I never thought I'd find hope in this bleak place. With the power of the manifesto and the support of our fellow Goombas, we can fight for a future free from oppression. Goomba 2, smiling, remember, my friend, the flame of Bowser's spirit burns within us all. Together, we can reclaim our dignity and rebuild a society where every Goomba can thrive.
As the two Goombas continue their conversation, the words of Bowser's manifesto echo through the confines of the Gulag, igniting a spark of hope in the hearts of those who had lost it. As the Bowsist movement grew, so did Mario's desperation to quash their dissent. The citizens of the Mushroom Kingdom lived in constant fear of discovery, uncertain of whom they could trust. But the underground movement persevered, relying on their unity and commitment to their cause. The tale of the Bowsists, meeting in secret within the labyrinthine tunnels, became a symbol of resilience and the indomitable nature of ideas. They refused to let Mario's band extinguish their beliefs, knowing that the pursuit of truth and justice should never be silenced. The clandestine gatherings and forbidden discussions in the tunnels acted as a beacon of hope for the oppressed citizens of the Mushroom Kingdom. They knew that even in the darkest times, the spirit of Bowser's manifesto, suppressed though it was, could guide them towards a brighter future. And so, the Bowsists continued to meet in the shadows, striving to keep the flame of their beliefs alive. They understood that true change would require not just secret meetings, but also collective action to challenge Mario's authoritarian regime and bring about a Mushroom Kingdom built on the principles of freedom and equality. But in the face of such oppression, a small glimmer of hope emerged. Luigi, Mario's brother and longtime ally, had watched in horror as his sibling descended into darkness. Deep within him, a flicker of resistance ignited, and he vowed to restore the Mushroom Kingdom to its former glory. In the annals of Mushroom Kingdom's history, the tale of the Princess Peach and Bowser and Luigi and Mario echoed the ancient legends of the mythical founders of Mushroom Kingdom. The Mario brothers, bound by blood and destiny, found themselves entangled in a power struggle that mirrored the conflicts of old. Luigi, the elder of the two, embodied the spirit of earnesty. He possessed an inherent sense of leadership and a desire to forge a new path for their kingdom. Guided by principles of justice and compassion, Luigi yearned to create a society that uplifted the marginalized and championed equality. On the other hand, Mario exuded a rebellious nature and a desire for personal glory. He challenged the existing order, driven by a thirst for power and recognition. Mario craved conquest, seeking to expand his dominion and establish his legacy. As their journeys intertwined, tensions simmered between the brothers. Luigi, driven by a vision of unity, sought to govern the Mushroom Kingdom with fairness and inclusivity. He understood the importance of collaboration and the strength that could be found in diversity. Mario, however, saw the world through a different lens. Fueled by ambition and a hunger for individual success, he sought to carve out his own kingdom, often at the expense of others. The clash of their ideologies became a defining feature of their relationship, foreshadowing a tragic destiny. In their quest for power and influence, Luigi and Mario found themselves at odds. The Mushroom Kingdom became a battleground for their ambitions, mirroring the struggles of Romulus and Remus in their legendary clash. Their conflict reached its zenith when Mario, consumed by envy and resentment, betrayed his brother. In a treacherous act, he cast Luigi aside, declaring himself the sole ruler of the Mushroom Kingdom. The bond between the brothers shattered, leaving behind a trail of sorrow and broken trust. Yet, Luigi's spirit endured. He rallied the disheartened and disillusioned, forming a loyal following of supporters who believed in his vision of a just and inclusive society. They stood together, united under the banner of Luigi's ideals. The followers of Luigi, driven by a collective determination, reclaimed their agency. They resisted Mario's oppressive rule, challenging the injustices and inequality that plagued the Mushroom Kingdom. The clash between the two factions escalated, leading to a confrontation that would determine the fate of their kingdom. The story of Luigi and Mario stood as a timeless allegory. It warned of the dangers of unchecked ambition and the transformative power of principled leadership. It reminded the citizens of the Mushroom Kingdom that true greatness lies not in individual conquest, but in collective progress and harmony. Through meditation and channeling, Luigi entered the realm of the dragon, where he was able to communicate telepathically with Bowser on their spiritual plane.
I am the king of the conquered!
Bowser mused.
I've been traversing the labyrinthine depths of introspection, delving into the mystic currents of numerical significance. It has revealed to me a path, a clandestine route to disrupt the balance of power and restore equilibrium to the ethereal realm of the Mushroom Kingdom.
Your words whisper of ancient wisdom and hidden truths. I too have delved into the esoteric arts, decoding the cryptic language of numbers that hold sway over our destinies. Pray, enlighten me on the secrets you have unraveled.
We shall orchestrate a surreptitious dance of shadows, a tapestry woven with threads of numerological mysticism. The number 3, the embodiment of harmony, shall guide our steps. We will create an illusory triad, a trinity of deceptive forces, merging the energies of our factions.
Ah, the enigmatic power of threes, the sacred trinity that shapes the universe. It resonates within me. But how shall we veil our true intentions from prying eyes, ensuring that our clandestine plot remains shrouded in secrecy?
Fear not, Luigi, for the celestial bodies have whispered to me a solution. We shall cultivate a secret brotherhood within our ranks, a clandestine network of chosen disciples, each representing a hidden facet of the cosmic triad. They shall be the keepers of our sacred knowledge, disseminating it with utmost discretion. These enlightened souls shall carry the torch of our clandestine mission, cloaking it in the mists of ambiguity.
But what of Mario? How shall we deceive the vigilant gaze that rests upon him, piercing through the veils of deception?
Princess Peach, the embodiment of ethereal duality, shall play her role in this intricate dance. She shall cloak herself in the mystique of transformation, weaving an illusion of allegiance to our cause. Mario's senses shall be deceived, his intuition clouded by the enigmatic interplay of light and shadow. The stars align, Luigi. Our plan converges with the cosmic patterns, each step infused with numerical significance. But we must proceed with caution, for the universe delights in testing our resolve. Let us invoke the power of the hidden numbers, guiding us through the labyrinthine trials that lie ahead.
Indeed, Bowser. The sacred numbers shall be our compass, navigating us through treacherous waters. We shall be vigilant, for the universe speaks in subtle whispers, testing our fidelity to the path we have chosen.
In the hidden recesses of their esoteric meeting, Luigi and Bowser embarked on a mystic journey, where hidden symbols and numerical synchronicities guided their every move. Their actions, veiled in secrecy and mystery, would weave a tapestry of destiny, aligning the cosmic forces to restore balance in the Mushroom Kingdom. Little did they know that the universe held both challenges and revelations, testing their understanding of the enigmatic currents that shape existence. Yet, they pressed forward, their hearts resonating with the hidden rhythms of the universe, determined to unlock the cosmic mysteries and reshape the fate of their world. Luigi and Mario, the brothers, bound by blood and destiny, found themselves entangled in a power struggle that mirrored the conflicts of old. Luigi, fueled by the righteousness of his cause, fought with unwavering determination. He wielded his power not as a weapon of destruction, but as a shield to protect the innocent and oppressed. His blows, while forceful, were laced with mercy and the flicker of forgiveness. Mario, driven by his insatiable thirst for power, unleashed his fury upon his brother. His attacks were fierce and relentless, fueled by a deep-seated envy that blinded him to the suffering he was causing. The Mushroom Kingdom trembled under the weight of their conflict. As the battle raged on, a somber realization washed over Luigi. He understood that defeating Mario in combat would not bring about the true victory he sought. To break the cycle of violence and to pave the way for a healed Mushroom Kingdom, a different path had to be taken. In a moment of profound compassion, Luigi halted his assault. He extended a hand to Mario, offering reconciliation rather than retribution. He saw the pain that drove his brother's actions, the insecurities that consumed him. It was then that Luigi made the selfless choice to end the battle in a merciful way. With tears in his eyes, Luigi spoke words of empathy and understanding. He offered forgiveness to Mario, releasing the bonds of animosity that had held them captive for so long. In that moment, the Mushroom Kingdom witnessed a profound transformation, the triumph of compassion over vengeance. Mario, stunned by Luigi's display of mercy, was overcome for only a moment. He recognized the darkness that had consumed his heart and the devastation he had brought upon their kingdom. As the weight of his actions crashed upon him, Mario surrendered, not to defeat, but to the opportunity for redemption. Unfortunately, this moment passed and Mario plunged Luigi deep into the tubes of the earth. In the aftermath of the battle, the Mushroom Kingdom stood divided but silent and submissive, fearful of what Mario's redemption might bring. Others embraced the hope that forgiveness could foster healing and unity. Their hopes rested in Luigi, but Luigi was now lost. Was he dead? This mythical status led Luigi to the same cultic plane of the Bowsists, where he was welcomed as a dragon saint, the quiet observer who had witnessed his brother's descent. Luigi was not dead. Luigi, aware of the complexities of love and the tragedy it had brought upon his brother, became determined to restore not only freedom but also Mario's lost humanity. He understood that true love could never be forced or manipulated, and that power gained at the expense of others' happiness was an empty victory. And so, as the Goombas of Mushroom Kingdom rallied behind Bowser and Luigi's cause, which like a ghost had whispered through all the cracks and corners of the kingdom, their collective desire for justice and compassion became the antidote to Mario's cold heart. Their movement symbolized the rejection of a love twisted by power and the reclamation of the values that had once united them all. Meanwhile, in her tower, much like her former dungeon but colder and windier, pines and laments for her lost lover.
My heart sings a melody of love, a song of passion that knows no bounds. For within the depths of my being, a flame burns bright for Bowser, the King Koopa. Oh, how his presence stirs my soul and makes my spirit soar. He is the embodiment of strength and power, a mighty ruler who commands respect. His fiery gaze pierces through my defenses, leaving me vulnerable, yet craving his touch. In his arms, I find solace, a sanctuary from the chaos that surrounds us. His voice, like thunder on a stormy night, resonates deep within me. Every word, every syllable, awakens a desire that I cannot deny. It is a love that defies conventions, a love that transcends boundaries. For in his embrace, I feel a love that is as timeless as the stars above. I am captivated by his fierce loyalty, his unwavering dedication to protect his kingdom and those he holds dear. He is a force to be reckoned with, a warrior who fights with relentless determination. And yet, beneath his hardened exterior, I see a tenderness that melts my heart. In the moments we steal away, hidden from prying eyes, our love blossoms like a secret garden. His touch, so gentle, electrifies my senses, leaving me breathless and yearning for more. In his presence, I am free to express the depths of my love, unrestricted by the expectations of others. Oh, how I long for the day when our love can flourish openly, when the world will understand the depths of our connection. But for now, we must remain hidden, our love concealed from prying eyes. Yet, even in the shadows, our love burns bright, an eternal flame that cannot be extinguished. I am Princess Peach, and my heart belongs to Bowser, the King Koopa. In this love, I find strength, passion, and a love that defies the constraints of our kingdoms. Together, we will conquer the challenges that lie ahead, for love knows no bounds, and our hearts beat as one.
The tale of Mario's unrequited love for Princess Peach and the kingdom served as a cautionary reminder that love cannot be coerced or controlled. It whispered of the dangers of allowing bitterness and jealousy to corrupt one's soul, and the importance of embracing love in its purest form, free from the trappings of power and manipulation. As Bowser and his patriots languished in Mario's dungeon, confined within the dark and cold prison, Bowser found himself isolated and beaten by gangs of Koopa Troopas, the very minions who had once served him. Sounds every day banging from under the earth became louder and louder. Suddenly, prisoner Pokio approaches the King Koopa.
Bowser, my friend, I see the weight of despair upon your shoulders. The darkness may be suffocating, but remember, hope can still find a way to pierce through the shadows. Dear Pokio, what solace can be found in this dismal place? My kingdom has crumbled, my dreams shattered. I have lost faith in myself, in my purpose.
Prisoner Pokio, Bowser, a kingdom does not solely define your worth. True strength lies within your heart and spirit. Remember the battles you have fought, the trials you have overcome. They have shaped you into the mighty Koopa you are today.
But what use is strength when my enemies outnumber me? When the walls of this prison close in around me, what hope is there?
Bowser, listen closely. The true strength lies not in numbers, but in resilience and determination. Even in the darkest of times, we can find solace in our own minds, in the depths of our souls. It is there that true freedom resides.
But how do I find that freedom, dear Pokio? How do I escape the shackles that bind me?
Close your eyes, Bowser, and envision a world beyond these prison walls. Picture the kingdoms you once ruled, the triumphs you achieved. They are not lost, my friend. They are memories that can fuel your spirit and ignite the flames of hope.
Your words carry a glimmer of truth, dear Pokio. In this place of despair, I shall seek solace within myself. But tell me, how do you find strength amidst this suffering?
Bowser, within each of us lies a wellspring of wisdom. We must tap into that inner reserve, drawing upon the knowledge we have gained through our trials. Every setback, every challenge, has shaped us into beings of resilience and fortitude.
Your words resonate with me, dear Pokio. Perhaps there is a flicker of hope yet. Tell me, what else can I do to keep my spirits alive?
Bowser, remember that even in the darkest of places, kindness and compassion can thrive. Reach out to your fellow prisoners, offer a word of encouragement, a gesture of solidarity. In doing so, you will find strength not only within yourself, but also in the unity of all those who endure.
Your wisdom is a beacon of light in this desolate place, dear Pokio. Thank you for reminding me that even in the depths of despair, there is still a glimmer of hope. We shall endure together.
Indeed, Bowser. Together, we shall rise above these confines and reclaim our freedom. Let the fire within our hearts burn brighter, for it is through struggle that we find our true selves.
In the depths of his suffering, Bowser's mind wandered to the wisdom of the great sages of the ancient dragons, whose teachings he had encountered in his travels. He delved into profound contemplation, seeking solace and understanding amidst his hardships. Through his meditations, Bowser unearthed an eternal truth that resonated deep within his being. He realized that the pursuit of power and dominance, which had consumed him for so long, was but a hollow illusion. True strength, he discovered, lay not in the forceful conquest of others, but in the gentle embrace of wisdom and compassion. In the solitude of his confinement, Bowser embraced his newfound insights and began to embody the transformative power of self-reflection. He sought redemption for his past actions and yearned to bring harmony to the Mushroom Kingdom, once a victim of his own ambitions. In his quest for redemption, Bowser found unlikely allies among the Koopa Troopas who had once reveled in their loyalty to him. He spoke of the ancient dragon sage's teachings, sharing the wisdom he had acquired in his darkest moments. He inspired his former minions to question the oppressive rule of Mario and to recognize the importance of unity and empathy. Together, they formed a resistance within the prison walls, dedicated to reclaiming the Mushroom Kingdom from the grips of tyranny. Bowser's transformation from a ruthless villain to a compassionate leader became the beacon of hope for those who had lost faith in Mario's regime. The dungeon, once a symbol of punishment and despair, became the birthplace of a revolution. The echoes of Bowser's introspection reverberated throughout the Mushroom Kingdom, sparking a collective awakening. The citizens, weary from years of Mario's oppressive rule, rallied behind Bowser's call for change. In their unity, they discovered the strength to challenge Mario's dictatorship and dismantle the structures that had kept them oppressed. The battle for freedom and justice raged on, fueled by the wisdom that Bowser had unearthed in his confinement. The tale of Bowser's time in Mario's dungeon served for introspection and enlightenment. It showcased the potential for transformation and redemption, as well as the power of self-reflection and the pursuit of eternal truths.
Oh, I, wretched Bowser, King Koopa, imprisoned within these dank and desolate confines. I, the mighty ruler of the Koopa troop, am reduced to a mere shadow of my former glory. Like the mighty Hamlet, haunted by the specters of my past, I ponder the twisted tale that has brought me to this wretched state. To reign supreme or to be toppled by the meddling plumbers, that is the quandary that consumes my weary mind. Shall I, the indomitable King Koopa, cower in this cell, ensnared by the heroes that have thwarted my plans time and time again? Or shall I rise, like a fiery phoenix, from the ashes of defeat and reclaim what is rightfully mine? Oh, Mario, my nemesis, you have been the bane of my existence, the thorn in my side. Your heroic feats, alongside your bumbling brother Luigi, have left me seething with rage and consumed by vengeance. But as I sit in this gloomy cell, I cannot help but reflect upon the consequences of my own actions. Amidst the clanging of iron bars, I hear the echoes of Princess Peach's voice, the damsel caught in the eternal struggle between hero and villain. How I yearn for her affection, for her to see the passion burning within me. Yet, my actions have driven her away, and I am left with a bitter emptiness that gnaws at my very core. The Goombas, my loyal foot soldiers, once dutifully followed my every command. They scurried about, ever ready to do my bidding. But now, their numbers have dwindled, their faith in their once mighty king wavering. They question my leadership, their loyalty eroded by the persistent victories of the Mario brothers. But as I dwell in this prison of my own making, I must confront the truth that lingers within me. The Goombas, the innocent pawns in this grand game, are not the true source of my downfall. No, it is my own hubris, my insatiable desire for power and conquest that has led me down this treacherous path. Oh, how I long to rewrite the story, to reshape the narrative that has cast me as the villain. If only I could turn back time, alter the course of fate, and find a way to reconcile my desires with the greater good. Alas, the reality is harsh, and I must face the consequences of my choices. But perhaps there is a glimmer of hope amidst the darkness. Like a lone Goomba in the Mushroom Kingdom, I can rise from the depths and reclaim my throne. I must learn from my past mistakes, seek redemption, and rally my loyal subjects to once again challenge the Mario brothers. Oh, Mario, Luigi, and Princess Peach, you may have won battles, but the war is far from over. I shall bide my time in this prison, nurturing the flames of determination and plotting my triumphant return. The Goombas, my steadfast companions, will be my strength, and together we shall rewrite the tale, casting me as the victor in this timeless struggle. And so, I, the mighty King Koopa, shall forge ahead, guided by the echoes of my own redemption. The shadows of Mario, Luigi, and Princess Peach may loom large, but I shall not falter. For within me burns a fire, a burning resolve to rewrite the tale of this kingdom and emerge as the true ruler, the conqueror of worlds.
As Bowser sat alone in the confines of his prison cell, staring through the bars at the Koopa Troopas and Bowsists in his prison dungeon, the weight of his past actions weighed heavily upon his heart. Darkness surrounded him, both within the damp walls of his cell and within the recesses of his own mind. Time seemed to crawl, each passing second an agonizing reminder of the consequences of his choices. His thoughts swirled with regret, contemplating the pain he had inflicted upon others and the suffering he had caused. He yearned for redemption, a chance to make amends for the damage he had wrought upon the Mushroom Kingdom. But deep down, he wondered if he truly deserved another opportunity, if forgiveness was something that could ever be extended to someone like him. Within the depths of Bowser's heart, an intricate tapestry of emotions swirled around Princess Peach. She was the embodiment of beauty and grace, a beacon of light in his darkest moments. But she was also a reminder of his deepest regrets, the scars of his past actions etched deep within his soul. Bowser couldn't help but be captivated by Princess Peach. Her gentle smile, her kind-hearted nature, and her unwavering dedication to her kingdom were all qualities that resonated with him. From the depths of his being, he yearned for her love and acceptance, hoping that somehow he could win her heart despite the mistakes he had made. But he also knew the truth. He knew that his actions had caused her pain and suffering. He had stolen her away, time and time again, in misguided attempts to win her affection. He couldn't escape the weight of his past, the remorse that gnawed at him, reminding him of the pain he had inflicted upon her and the Mushroom Kingdom. Bowser's heart ached with regret, knowing that he had been blinded by his own desires and ambitions. He had let his love for Princess Peach consume him, clouding his judgment and leading him down a path of darkness. He wished he could turn back time, rewrite the chapters of their shared history, and undo the pain he had caused. But even in the depths of his regret, hope flickered like a small flame. Bowser dreamed of a future where he could make amends, where he could prove himself worthy of Princess Peach's love and trust. He yearned for a chance to show her the depths of his remorse and the strength of his commitment to change. In his heart, Bowser longed for redemption, not just for his own sake, but for the sake of Princess Peach and the Mushroom Kingdom. He dreamed of a day when he could stand by her side, not as a conqueror, but as a partner, united in their love and shared vision for a harmonious world. But Bowser knew that dreams alone were not enough. He had to walk the difficult path of transformation, making amends for his past and proving through his actions that he had changed. He vowed to become a force for good, to protect the Mushroom Kingdom instead of seeking to dominate it, and to be worthy of Princess Peach's forgiveness. As Bowser looked into the horizon, hope mingled with regret within his heart. He knew that the road ahead would not be easy, that he would face skepticism and doubt from those who had known him as their greatest adversary. But he remained resolute in his determination to become a better version of himself, driven by his love for Princess Peach and his deep desire to atone for his past transgressions.
To be Koopa or not to be Koopa, that is the question. Whether it is nobler in the Mushroom Kingdom to suffer the wrenches and flames of outrageous plumbers, or to take arms against the sea of Goombas, and by opposing in them, to jump, to stop, no more, and by a jump, to say we end. The heartache and the thousand natural obstacles that Goombas are heir to, 'tis a consummation, devoutly to be wished. To jump, to stop, perchance to squish. Aye, there's the rub. For in that jump of stomping what Goombas may come, when we have shuffled off this virtual shell, must give our games pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the Koopa King's iron fist? The tyrant's wrong, the proud plumber's contumely, the pangs of despised Princess Peach's love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when Mario himself might his quietus make, with a single fireball? Who would Goombas bear, to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered kingdom from whose bourne no traveler returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have, than fly upon the queen's super acorn to others that we know not of? Thus, conscience does make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution, is sicklied o'er with the pale cast of doubt, and enterprises of great pitch and moment. With this regard, their currents turn awry, and lose the name of action. Game over! But soft, what Goombas through yonder warp pipe break? It is the plumbers, and Mario is their leader. Armed with bravery and a mighty mustache, they come to challenge my reign, sailors to pirates to plumbers, to claim the kingdom. Shall I stand idly by, or shall I rise to the occasion? To fight against the tide of destiny, to seize the throne of thee and claim what is rightfully mine, to be the Koopa King, to rule supreme, to hold dominion over the Mushroom Kingdom, and by opposing, conquer it, to jump, to stomp, no more, and by stomping, to say we prevail. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, to jump, to stomp, perchance to squish. Aye, there's the triumph! For in that jump of stomping, what Goombas may fall, when we have triumphed over this mortal challenge, must bring us joy. For who would bear the rusted chains of captivity, the yoke of subservience, the shame of defeat, the indignity of a conquered kingdom, when he himself might rise to glorious victory, and in that rise shape his own destiny? Who would Goombas bear to toil and bow under a conqueror's reign, but that the hope of freedom, the desire for greatness, the call of the Koopa spirit drives us forward? For as above and so forth below, in the kingdom and the sewers of these brothers of Mario and Luigi. Thus, conscience does make conquerors of us all. And thus, the native hue of resolution is invigorated by the fire flower of ambition, and enterprises of great pitch and moment. With this regard, their currents turn to triumph, and gain the name of conquest. So let the plumbers come, with Mario at their helm. I, Bowser, shall meet them head on, for I am the Koopa King, the ruler of all. And in this battle, the Mushroom Kingdom shall witness the indomitable spirit of Bowser, its true sovereign, to be the victor, to seize the crown, to reign supreme in the Mushroom Kingdom, and by opposing, claim my rightful place, to jump, to stomp, and in that stomp, to conquer. Aye, there's the glory! For in that jump of stomping, what Goombas may crumble, when we have emerged victorious from this mortal strife, must bring us honor and everlasting fame. To be the Koopa King, or not to be at all? That is the question, and I, Bowser, have chosen. The stage is set, the game is afoot, and the Mushroom Kingdom shall forever remember the might and power of Bowser, their one true ruler.
Bowser carried within him the bittersweet mix of longing, regret, and hope. His love for Princess Peach fueled his desire for change, propelling him on a journey of self-discovery and redemption. And as he set his sights on a future where their paths could intertwine in harmony, Bowser held onto the belief that love, forgiveness, and transformation were the keys to shaping a brighter tomorrow. As Bowser's mind wandered, the sound of pounding against the wall echoed through his prison cell. His heart skipped a beat, unsure of what awaited him beyond those cold, unforgiving walls. Was it yet another adversary seeking vengeance? Or perhaps a new tormentor, ready to make him pay for his past sins? In the depths of the Mushroom Kingdom, a tireless determination burned within Luigi's heart. Fueled by his unwavering belief in the power of redemption and second chances, he embarked on a daring mission to free Bowser from his prison cell.
Gather around, everyone. We will find a way to rescue Bowser from the clutches of Mario. Our previous plans have encountered unforeseen obstacles, but we cannot give up. We owe it to Bowser to bring him back safely.
Luigi, it seems that every strategy we come up with has its flaws. The castle is heavily guarded, and the Mushroom Kingdom's forces are on high alert. We need a breakthrough if we are to succeed.
I understand our predicament, Commander Toad. but we must think outside the box. Bowser's life is at stake, and we cannot afford to fail him. Let us pool our ideas and expertise.
Luigi, I've been studying the castle's layout and defenses, and I've found a potential weakness. There is a hidden passage beneath the castle, an ancient network of tunnels that lead directly to Bowser's cell.
That sounds promising, Captain Koopa. But how do we navigate these tunnels without being detected? The Mushroom Kingdom's surveillance is meticulous.
A scout Goomba enters the room, battered and exhausted.
Commander Luigi, I found the solution. I've risked my life to bring you this information.
Scout Goomba, what happened to you? Rest for a moment, and then tell us what you've discovered.
The bloodied and bruised scout Goomba suffocates for breath, but carries on coldly.
Luigi, Mario is planning a grand parade to celebrate his victory over Bowser. The entire kingdom will be watching. It's the perfect distraction.
Go on, Scout Goomba. How does this help us?
We can use the chaos of the parade to our advantage. While all eyes are on Mario and the festivities, we can infiltrate the castle through the tunnels. The guards will be occupied, and we can rescue Bowser unnoticed.
Scout Goomba, you've done a remarkable job. Your courage and determination have given us the breakthrough we needed. Rest now, and we'll put your plan into action.
Scout Goomba smiles weakly.
Thank you, Luigi. Just promise me you'll bring Bowser back safely. He deserves a chance at redemption.
I promise you, Scout Goomba. We will bring Bowser home, no matter the cost. Your sacrifice will not be in vain.
The room falls silent as the weary scout rests, knowing that his efforts have paved the way for Bowser's rescue. With newfound hope, Luigi and his high command begin to strategize, their determination fueling their resolve to save their captured ally. For over a month, Luigi labored tirelessly, digging through the labyrinthine tunnels beneath the kingdom. With each shovelful of earth he removed, his resolve grew stronger. He navigated the dark and treacherous passageways, guided by an unwavering sense of purpose. Above his kingdom from his tower, Mario paces back and forth.
I can't shake this feeling, something is not right. The festival is approaching, and I want it to be a grand celebration, a testament to my rule. But deep down, I can't shake this nagging doubt. Do the Goombas truly love me?
Don't worry, Your Highness. The preparations are going smoothly. The citizens will be dazzled by the festivities. You are their beloved ruler. You are feared and respected.
Todd, you are always so loyal. But there are moments I can't help but wonder if it's all just an act. Do they truly respect me, or do they only fear me? I want to be loved, Todd, not just tolerated.
Scout Goomba, smiling weakly Princess Peach, straightens her smile and brightens her dimming eyes.
My sweet Mario, the decorations are coming along beautifully. The Mushroom Kingdom will be in awe of your grand festival.
Mario longs for Princess Peach, looking towards her, his cold mustached pale face filled with longing.
Peach, it means a lot to have your support. Your presence by my side makes everything feel right. But in moments, I am forced to wonder if there is a way I could win the genuine affection of the Goombas.
Great and powerful Mario, you have already done so much for the Mushroom Kingdom. Your bravery and heroism are unmatched. The Goombas respect and admire you. They just need time to truly understand your intentions.
You may be right, Peach. Maybe I'm just overthinking things. But I want to create a kingdom where everyone can coexist in harmony and happiness. I want to be more than just a ruler, but I want to be their hero.
Your heroism is legendary, Mario. Remember all the Goombas you've defeated and the worlds you've saved. We and all Goombas are grateful for your actions.
Thank you, Todd. Your words bring me some comfort. Let's continue with the preparations for the festival. I want it to be a day of joy and celebration, a chance for the Goombas to see the goodness in my heart.
Unbeknownst to Mario, Princess Peach exchanges a subtle glance with one of the servants, signaling the progress of their secret plan against him. Mario's inner turmoil continues to gnaw at him as he desperately seeks the affection and validation he yearns for. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, the resistance works tirelessly to undermine his rule, their actions hidden beneath the guise of cooperation and support. The music of the festival bellowed loudly, so loudly it was impossible to hear the clanging underground, or if it was audible it was certainly in sync with the orchestra of Goombas above. Mario stood with Princess Peach high above the crowds in a podium, where he was faintly observable and inaudible. Princess Peach smiled and waved. She urged Mario to do the same. As Luigi finally reached Bowser's prison cell, the walls damp and claustrophobic, Luigi's heart pounded with anticipation. With a deep breath, he picked the lock, the sound echoing through the desolate chamber. The door creaked open, revealing Bowser, once a formidable foe, now a broken and dispirited figure. Bowser's breath caught in his throat as the door swung open, revealing a figure silhouetted in the dim light. It took a moment for Bowser's eyes to adjust, his heart pounding with anticipation. And then, he saw him. Luigi, standing there with outstretched hand, his eyes filled with compassion and forgiveness. In the dim light, Luigi extended a hand to Bowser, offering him a chance at redemption. He spoke of unity, forgiveness, and the opportunity for a new beginning. Bowser, his spirit renewed by Luigi's unwavering belief, accepted the outstretched hand, a glimmer of hope illuminating his eyes. Bowser's emotions surged within him, a mix of disbelief and gratitude. He had expected judgment, condemnation, or even a cruel trick. But instead, he was met with the unwavering loyalty and friendship of someone who had every reason to despise him. In that moment, Bowser's hardened heart began to thaw. He realized that Luigi saw beyond the mistakes of the past and believed in the possibility of change. The pounding on the wall that had once filled him with trepidation now represented a lifeline, a chance for redemption that he had not dared to hope for. As he took Luigi's hand and stepped out of the darkness, a newfound sense of purpose stirred within Bowser. He vowed to make amends, to work alongside his friend to rebuild the kingdom they had both played a part in tearing apart. The weight of his past actions remained, but now he carried it with a renewed determination to change, to become a force for good. In the depths of Bowser's soul, a flame of gratitude burned bright. Luigi's act of rescue was not just a physical liberation, but a catalyst for his own transformation. And as they embarked on this journey of redemption together, Bowser couldn't help but feel a glimmer of hope, a belief that he could overcome the darkness within him and help create a brighter future for the Mushroom Kingdom. As they escaped with the Bowsists and Luigi soldiers, Luigi and Bowser walked side by side. Bowser couldn't help but be grateful for Luigi's unwavering faith and friendship. In that moment, he understood that true strength lay not in power or dominance, but in the bonds of compassion and forgiveness. And he vowed to spend the rest of his days honoring that trust, proving that even the most unlikely of friends could find redemption and forge a path towards a better tomorrow. Together, they emerged from the depths of the prison, determined to bring about a transformative change in the Mushroom Kingdom. Luigi's act of compassion symbolized the power of forgiveness and the belief in the potential for change. In their unity, they represented a new era of cooperation and understanding. Mario was surrounded by his own Goombas. Princess Peach was quickly whisked away, but before the Goombas could arrest Mario, Mario flung himself from the roof of the tower and reached his hand into his pocket. He consumed a royal super acorn and glided away from the kingdom to the Turtle Dove outpost. Mario, breathing heavily, flying through the night sky.
Since when was I the bad guy? What have I let be done? How could I have been so blind? I believed Princess Peach truly loved me, that the Goombas respected and admired me. But it was all a facade, a charade. One I fell for, so foolishly. I took on the role of a hero, as a masquerade, believing that my actions would win the hearts of the people. I fought countless battles, defeated Bowser time and again, and brought peace to the Mushroom Kingdom. But in the end, it was all for naught. They never truly appreciated me. They were just waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike. I sit here, flying away from the kingdom I briefly called my own, questioning my every decision. How could I have been so blind to the truth? How could I have missed the signs of their discontent, their hidden agendas? I was a fool, a puppet dancing to their whims. And Princess Peach, that wretched woman, I loved her with all my heart, but she was nothing more than a scammer. Using me as a pawn in her game of power. How dare her? I allowed myself to be fooled by her false affections, believing that I had finally found someone who understood me. But it was all a facade, a cruel trick played on my vulnerable heart. I am not the baddie. I am the good guy. They are all the villains and I am the hero of this story. I will prove this all. And the Goombas, the citizens of the Kingdom Uno protected and fought for, they never truly respected me. They never deserved my protection. They saw me as nothing more than a means to an end, a tool to be discarded once they won their own ambitions. I was a fool to think they would stand by me in times of trouble. Now, as I soar through the darkness, my heart heavy with regret and self-doubt, I question everything I thought I knew about myself. Was I ever truly a hero, or was I just a pawn in a game I could not comprehend? Did I ever have the love and admiration I so desperately sought, or was it all an illusion? Hey, it's me. Mario. I must find my strength again. Rediscover the true Mario, outside the confines of this kingdom that has betrayed me. I must learn to trust again, to believe in my own value, even when the world seems to be against me. This journey will be one of self-discovery, of finding my true purpose beyond the expectations and demands of others. As I live behind the kingdom that turned against me, Mario will rise from the ashes like a phoenix, fiercer and wiser. I will reclaim my identity, not as a puppet or a pawn, but as Mario, the hero, who fights for what is right, not for the adoration of others, but for absolute justice itself. And maybe, just maybe, in my journey of self-redemption, I will find true love and acceptance, not in the deceptive arms of Princess Peach, but in the hearts of those few who see me for what I truly am. What is Mario? Is Mario the baddie? Or is Mario our guy?
Within the cold and heartless confines of his turtle dove outpost, Mario's mind was a tempest of anger, paranoia, and fear. The weight of his newfound power pressed upon him, turning his once vibrant spirit into a hardened shell of resentment. His thoughts, clouded by mistrust, fixated on the citizens he saw as potential threats. Every movement, every whispered conversation, fueled his suspicion. He watched their every move, believing that beneath their smiles and friendly gestures lay a hidden agenda, a plot to undermine his authority and take away the kingdom he had fought so hard to conquer. Fear gnawed at Mario's core, an incessant reminder that he could lose everything in an instant. He had become a prisoner of his own paranoia, trapped within the confines of his insecurities. The weight of his past deeds bore down on him, fueling his determination to maintain absolute control, no matter the cost. In his twisted perspective, Mario found perverse amusement in arresting citizens, relishing in the power he wielded over their lives. Their pleas for mercy fell on deaf ears, drowned out by the cacophony of his own ego. He reveled in their fear, convinced that it was his right to impose his will upon them, all in the name of maintaining order. But beneath the facade of dominance, a flicker of doubt danced within Mario's heart. Was this truly the path he had envisioned for himself? Was the pursuit of power and control worth the sacrifices he had made? Deep down, he knew the answer, but he was too consumed by his own anger and fear to confront it. Princess Peach and Luigi, once beloved figures in his life, were now mere pawns in his game of control. He viewed them with suspicion, questioning their loyalty and the depth of their commitment to his cause. In his twisted mind, he believed they harbored secret desires to overthrow him, to strip him of his newfound authority. As he spied on them from his outpost, Mario's heart grew colder with each passing moment. The love and compassion that once resided within him were replaced by bitterness and resentment. He had become a slave to his own insecurities, unable to break free from the self-imposed chains that held him captive. Mario's actions were driven by a desperate need to cling to power, to protect himself from the imagined threats that lurked in every shadow. The once heroic plumber had become a tyrant, ruling with an iron fist and sacrificing the very ideals he had once fought for. In the depths of his soul, Mario knew that this path was unsustainable. The emptiness he felt, the hollowness of his victories, were reminders that true power and fulfillment could not be found in domination and fear. But for now, he remained trapped in his own self-destructive cycle, a prisoner of his own creation. And so, Mario wallowed in anger and paranoia, blinded by his own insecurities and the desperate need to maintain control. He longed for a future where his fears would subside, where he could find peace and purpose once again. But until that day came, he continued to tread the dark path he had chosen, unaware of the consequences it would ultimately bring upon himself and those he held dear. Alone in the quiet confines of her tower, Princess Peach wrestled with the tangled emotions that consumed her heart. Regret and confusion danced within her, entwined with the echoes of her past choices and the uncertainty of her future. Her thoughts turned to Mario, the brave hero who had tirelessly rescued her from the clutches of Bowser time and time again. A part of her admired his unwavering dedication, his undying love, and his relentless pursuit of her happiness. But as time passed, doubts had crept into her mind, whispering of a love that felt forced, a connection that lacked the depth and understanding she longed for. And then there was Bowser, the embodiment of darkness and chaos, the villain who had once held her captive. But beneath the layers of his ruthless exterior, she had glimpsed something more. She had seen a flicker of vulnerability, a longing for redemption, and a desire to change. It stirred a curiosity within her, a yearning to understand the complexities of his heart. Confusion clouded her thoughts as Princess Peach contemplated her feelings for both Mario and Bowser. She felt torn between two paths, uncertain of which one would lead her to the happiness she sought. Her heart whispered of the possibility of a love that transcended the boundaries of expectation and convention, one that embraced the complexities of the human spirit. But Princess Peach knew that her desires carried risks. Mario, ever loyal and steadfast, would be hurt if he discovered her conflicting emotions. And so, she pondered in secret, considering ways to help Bowser without Mario's knowledge. Ideas swirled within her mind, schemes and strategies to bring about change and redemption for Bowser, while shielding Mario from the knowledge that she had become entangled in a different web of emotions. In the solitude of her tower, Princess Peach contemplated the weight of her choices. Regret coursed through her veins, regret for the pain she may cause, and for the confusion that consumed her own heart. But amidst the uncertainty, a glimmer of determination shone bright. She resolved to follow the path that felt truest to her own desires, to seek her own happiness while remaining mindful of the potential consequences. Princess Peach knew that she would have to tread carefully, navigating the intricate web of her emotions with grace and integrity. She vowed to listen to the whispers of her heart, to honor her own journey of self-discovery, even if it meant veering away from the familiar path she had trodden with Mario. As she gazed out from her tower, Princess Peach envisioned a future where she could bring change, not just to the Mushroom Kingdom, but to her own life. She dreamed of a love that resonated with her soul, a love that embraced both light and darkness, and a love that allowed her to grow and evolve. And so, in the solitude of her thoughts, Princess Peach made a silent promise to herself. She would forge her own path, navigate the labyrinth of her emotions, and seek the truth that resided within her own heart. With each passing day, she would strive to find clarity amidst the chaos and ultimately discover the love and happiness she yearned for, in whatever form it may take. Word of Luigi's courageous act spread throughout the kingdom, igniting a flicker of hope in the hearts of the citizens, enraging Mario with betrayal by his own brother. The Goombas, inspired by Luigi's unwavering belief in redemption, rallied behind the cause of unity and forgiveness. They recognized that true strength lay not in division, but in the bonds forged through compassion and understanding. Luigi's daring act served as a reminder that no one is beyond redemption, and that even in the darkest of times, there is always a glimmer of light. The citizens of the Mushroom Kingdom, witnessing the transformative power of forgiveness, embraced the opportunity to heal and rebuild their fractured society. Bowser, once a symbol of chaos and destruction, found a new purpose in his newfound freedom. He committed himself to the cause of unity, working alongside Luigi to bridge the gaps that had divided their kingdom. With every step they took, they sought to mend the wounds of the past and pave the way for a brighter future. As the Mushroom Kingdom witnessed the reconciliation of Luigi and Bowser, a ripple of change swept through its lands. Walls crumbled, barriers dissolved, and a spirit of cooperation permeated the hearts of its citizens. It was a testament to the transformative power of compassion and the indomitable human spirit. Together, Luigi and Bowser stood as beacons of hope, leading the charge towards a united and harmonious Mushroom Kingdom. The journey ahead would not be without its challenges, but with forgiveness in their hearts and a shared vision of redemption, they were poised to create a society where compassion and understanding prevailed. With the help of a few trusted allies, Luigi and Bowser's underground movement expanded. They risked their lives to spread awareness, to collect evidence of Mario's crimes, and to remind the Goombas of the true spirit of the Mushroom Kingdom. They became the whispers in the night, the resistance against the dictator's regime. The battle for the Mushroom Kingdom's soul had begun. Luigi and his comrades fought tirelessly, inspiring others to join their cause. The Goombas, once silenced by fear, began to find their voices and stand against the tyrant who had once been their hero. The tale of the Mario Brothers became a somber metaphor for the dangers of unchecked power and the importance of preserving the values of liberty and justice. The Mushroom Kingdom learned that even the greatest heroes can fall, and that true strength lies in the hands of the Goombas who dare to rise against tyranny. In the depths of the castle, a grim scene unfolded. Mario and Luigi, once brothers bound by love and adventure, now stood on opposite sides of a battle they never could have imagined. The air crackled with tension as they faced each other, their eyes filled with a mixture of anguish and determination.
Luigi, you dare betray me. After all we've been through, you side with them. You've become weak, just like the rest of them.
Mario, please! This isn't you. We were meant to fight for what's right together, not against each other. Please, let's find a way to resolve this without more bloodshed.
Bloodshed? You think I'm the one causing bloodshed? Look around you, Luigi. It's their rebellion that threatens the peace we've worked so hard to establish. I won't stand for it.
Mario, can't you see? This isn't peace, it's tyranny. The Mushroom Kingdom deserves better. We both know there's a darkness in you now, and I won't let it consume you completely. We have to find a way back to who you truly are.
Back to the old Mario? Luigi? You are just a second fiddle, always in my shadow. You never understood the weight of my responsibilities, the sacrifices which must be made. But now I, Mario, have the power, and nobody can take it away.
Mario, my brother! I've always admired you, looked up to you. You were my hero. But this isn't the brother I know. I can't let you continue down this path of destruction. I won't let you destroy everything we hold dear.
The brothers circled each other, their hearts heavy with sorrow and the weight of their choices. Luigi's grip tightened on his weapon, and he steeled himself for the battle that would determine their fate.
Mario, I love you, and it's because of that love that I can't let you continue this reign of darkness. If it means sacrificing our bond to protect the Mushroom Kingdom, then so be it. I won't let you destroy everything we hold dear.
Luigi, you fool. You think you can stop me? It's me. I am unstoppable. I am the one who will bring order and control to this chaos. And if you stand in my way, Luigi, then you will suffer the same tragic destiny as the rest.
With a swift and precise movement, Luigi lunged forward, engaging in a desperate battle with his brother. The clash of their weapons echoed through the halls, a haunting reminder of the shattered bond between them. Luigi fought with a heavy heart, each blow landing with a mixture of regret and determination. He had hoped for a different outcome, a chance to save his brother from the darkness that consumed him. But as the battle raged on, it became clear that there was no turning back. Finally, as Luigi stumbled, weakened and gasping for breath, Mario paused, his eyes filled with anguish and rage. He had a choice to make, one that would shatter his own heart but preserve the greater good.
Mario, I never wanted it to come to this. I can't let you continue down this path. I love you, brother, but I have to let you go.
Mario, consumed by anger and blinded by his thirst for power, attempted to surprise attack Luigi with a wrench. The air crackled with tension as Mario lunged forward, his eyes filled with a twisted determination.
You should have never crossed me, Luigi. It's time for you to pay for your betrayal.
Mario, please. We can find another way, a way to bring you back from this darkness. I don't want to fight you.
It's too late for that, Luigi. You had your chance to stand by my side, but now you face the consequences.
With a swift and unexpected movement, Luigi managed to evade Mario's attack, causing him to lose his balance. Mario stumbled backward, his eyes widening in disbelief as he teetered on the edge of a pit.
No!
Mario consumed one of Bowser's fire flower and becomes enraged. He begins spitting fireballs at Luigi.
Mario, what have you done? You have become everything you swore against and hated. You have become the embodiment of fear and nightmare itself. You have stolen the fire of the dragon.
I am your god. Kneel before your Mario.
Mario fires a ball of burning flames from his jaw at his brother, enveloping Luigi in cinders. His mustache is burned and his face is singed. He can barely open but one eye. A moment of desperation enveloped Luigi. Overwhelmed by Mario's relentless onslaught, he found himself unable to defend himself any longer. Just as Mario prepared to strike the final blow, a glimmer of hope emerged.
Mario, stop! This has gone far enough.
Stay out of this, Peach. This is between me and Luigi.
No, it's about something much bigger than the two of you. It's about redemption and forgiveness. Mario, please, listen to reason.
As Princess Peach spoke, her eyes locked with Bowser's, a silent understanding passing between them. Bowser, once Mario's sworn enemy, had witnessed the depths of his cruelty and the transformation of his beloved kingdom into a place of darkness.
Luigi!
Luigi's attention snapped to Bowser, confusion etched upon his face. But before he could comprehend what was happening, Bowser hurled a shining star and a blazing fire flower towards him.
Take them, Luigi! Use them to protect yourself and end this madness.
Luigi caught the star and fire flower with trembling hands, the weight of the moment settling upon him. A surge of newfound strength coursed through his veins as he grasped the potential within his reach.
I won't let you down, Bowser. And I won't let Mario destroy everything we hold dear.
Empowered by the star and fire flower, Luigi faced Mario once again. His eyes glowed with a fierce determination as he unleashed a flurry of fireballs and evaded Mario's attacks with newfound agility.
Impossible.
It's not too late, Mario. We can find a way back from this darkness. But I won't let you harm anyone else.
With each fireball and maneuver, Luigi closed in on Mario, forcing him to retreat. The balance of power had shifted, and the fire of determination burned brightly within Luigi's heart.
Mario, your game is over.
With tears streaming down his face, Luigi delivered a final blow, incapacitating Mario. The room fell silent, except for the heavy gasps of breath and the burden of a brother's love lost. In that moment, Luigi wept for the shattered bond, the pain of his decision, and the hope that one day, Mario might find redemption. But for now, the battle had ended, and the weight of the consequences lay heavy upon his shoulders. In a climactic moment, Luigi launched a final fireball towards Mario, who stumbled backward, unable to withstand the onslaught. The flames engulfed him, and he fell to the ground, defeated and consumed by his own darkness. In a heart-wrenching moment, Mario plummeted into the abyss, his anguished cry echoing through the air. The pit swallowed him, leaving only the sound of his haunting yell ringing in Luigi's ears.
Princess. Brother. My god. No.
That's it. He's
Dead!
Princess Peach begins to cry. Luigi lets out a guttural bellow of sadness as he falls to the ground.
Mario, my brother, no. What have I done?
Tears stream down Luigi's face as he rushed to the edge of the pit, his heart heavy with sorrow and regret. He extended a trembling hand, hoping against hope that he could somehow save his brother from the clutches of death.
Mario, I never wanted it to come to this. I wanted to save you, to bring you back from this darkness. I love you, brother, and now it's too late.
The weight of guilt settled upon Luigi's shoulders, the realization that he couldn't change the outcome. He sank to his knees, tears mingling with the dust on the ground, his cries of anguish filling the silence. In that moment, Luigi mourned not only the loss of his brother, but also the shattered dreams of reconciliation and redemption. The tears that fell were not only for his own pain, but for the love he held for Mario, a love that had been overshadowed by the darkness that consumed him. As the echoes of his cries faded, Luigi was left to grapple with the harsh reality of his actions. The battle was over, but the scars would remain, etched upon his heart forever. And amidst the sorrow, a glimmer of hope flickered, a hope that one day he might find peace and forgiveness, both for himself and for the brother he had loved so deeply. In the aftermath of the battle between Luigi and Mario, the Mushroom Kingdom was left in a state of uncertainty and turmoil. Princess Peach, torn between her feelings for Mario and the longing she had developed for Bowser, found herself caught in a tumultuous emotional struggle. As the Bowsists, driven by the ideals of Bowser's manifesto, had planned to launch a bold invasion to recapture the kingdom, Princess Peach's heart ached for Mario. These objectives seemed so casual and thoughtless now. She witnessed the destruction and chaos that had befallen their land, and her tears flowed for the loss they had endured. In the midst of the invasion, Princess Peach's conflicted emotions reached a tipping point. Overwhelmed by grief and a yearning for stability, she sought solace in the familiarity of Bowser's presence. Despite her love for Mario, she ran into the awaiting arms of Bowser, finding a temporary respite from the chaos that surrounded them. Bowser, despite his long-standing rivalry with Mario, couldn't help but empathize with the pain and loss his adversary had suffered. Recognizing the depth of Princess Peach's love for Mario, Bowser was moved by her tears and the anguish in her eyes. In a rare display of compassion, he made a decision that would change the course of their intertwined destinies. Bowser walked deep into the depths of his castle, into his private quarters. The letter from his greatest scout upon the secret mission has arrived. Bowser opens his mouth and breathes a slow fire to light his view while he reads the letter from his scout. Aloud.
My dearest Emperor, I stand before you, weary and scarred, my shell cracked and battered, but with a tale to tell. A tale of mortal trials and an unwavering resolve that guided me through the darkest depths of despair. I was chosen, entrusted with a mission of paramount importance to journey into the treacherous depths of the ancient tomb in search of the legendary life mushroom. The fate of our fallen hero, Mario, lay in my trembling hands. And so, with trepidation but unwavering loyalty, I embarked on my perilous quest. The tomb was a labyrinth of horrors, a twisted maze designed to test the very limits of my strength and courage. Every step I took was shadowed by lurking dangers, traps cunningly crafted to ensnare the unwary. Yet, driven by the hope of saving Mario and honoring his memory, I pressed on. But the guardians of the tomb were relentless. I was captured, my tiny body subjected to tortures beyond imagination. The darkness that consumed me threatened to extinguish the light within, but I clung to the memory of Mario's bravery, drawing strength from his heroic deeds. Escaping the clutches of my captors was a triumph in itself, but danger still lurked in the shadows. As I held the coveted life mushroom in my trembling hands, a ferocious monster emerged from the depths, its hunger and rage echoing through the tomb. With every fiber of my being, I sprinted through the treacherous corridors, my heart pounding like the drums of war. Fear fueled my determination, pushing me beyond the limits of my physical capabilities. I could not falter, for Mario's life depended on my success. The monster's roars reverberated through the tomb, its claws tearing through the air as it relentlessly pursued me. But destiny smiled upon me that day, granting me a moment of respite. With a burst of speed, I reached the tomb's entrance, the warm light of the outside world beckoning me to safety. In that fleeting moment, as I emerged from the tomb, life mushroom still clutched tightly, I felt an indescribable surge of triumph and relief. I had survived the mortal trials, overcome the insurmountable odds, and obtained the precious elixir that held the power to restore life. Now, as I stand here before you, with the life mushroom in my possession, my battered body a testament to the trials I endured, I am reminded of the sacrifices we make for those we hold dear. Mario, our fallen hero, may your spirit find solace in the knowledge that his legacy lives on. I vow to return this life mushroom to the Mushroom Kingdom, that it may serve as a beacon of hope and a symbol of resilience. Let it remind us all that even in the face of darkness, there is always a flicker of light, a chance for redemption, and a glimmer of life yet to be lived.
For my emperor, for the Mushroom Kingdom, and for all who hold courage in their hearts, I will carry on, for the journey may be perilous, but the rewards of loyalty and love are immeasurable. Bowser breathes a bit heavy, and the fire from his throat burns the note to ashes in his talons. Deeply moved by the events that had unfolded, Bowser felt a profound sense of sorrow for the fate that had befallen Mario. Despite their bitter rivalry, Bowser recognized the importance of honoring their shared history and acknowledging the depths of their bond as adversaries turned allies.
Koopa Troopas, listen closely. We have one final mission to undertake, one that holds immense significance. We must journey into the depths of hell itself and retrieve the body of Mario.
The Koopa Troopas, their loyalty unwavering, nodded in understanding. They knew the gravity of the task assigned to them and were prepared to carry it out with the utmost reverence. This is not an ordinary mission. It is a tribute to a fallen adversary, a symbol of our shared history and the bonds that tie us together. Treat Mario's remains with the respect they deserve. With unwavering determination, the Koopa Troopas set forth on their expedition into the treacherous depths of hell. The fiery pits and ominous shadows tested their resolve, but they pressed on, knowing the importance of their mission. Amidst the darkness, they navigated treacherous terrain, braving the wrath of infernal creatures and overcoming the trials set before them. After what felt like an eternity, they finally reached the resting place of Mario's lifeless body.
We have found him. Our fallen adversary, Mario. Let us gather him and bring him back to the kingdom where he will be laid to rest with the respect he deserves.
With gentle care, the Koopa Troopas lifted Mario's lifeless form, cradling it with a tenderness that spoke of a shared history fraught with conflict, but also moments of unity and camaraderie. Returning to the Mushroom Kingdom, the Koopa Troopas bore Mario's body with a solemn procession. The citizens, once divided by strife, now stood together in silent tribute, their heads bowed in reverence for a fallen hero. Bowser stood at the forefront, his heart heavy with the weight of their shared past. He had come to understand the complexities of their relationship, the dance between rivalry and reluctant kinship. And in this final act, he sought to honor that legacy.
Mario, you may have been my greatest adversary, but you are also a part of this kingdom's history. Rest in peace, knowing that your impact will never be forgotten.
With great care, Mario's body was laid to rest in a place of honor, a final testament to the journey they had shared and the sacrifices made along the way. The Mushroom Kingdom, once divided, stood united in the face of loss, embracing the opportunity for healing and a future built on understanding. And as the kingdom mourned, a newfound spirit of unity began to blossom, an acknowledgement of the intricate tapestry of their intertwined fates. The memory of Mario would forever serve as a reminder of the power of forgiveness, redemption, and the potential for growth even in the face of the most bitter conflicts. Deep below, Koopa Troopa Scout arrives panting, his voice filled with urgency.
Commander, I have found him. I have located the body of Mario in the depths of hell as instructed. Excellent work, soldier. Your loyalty and efficiency are commendable. Now, provide us with a detailed report. The journey was fraught with danger, but we managed to find Mario's body in a secluded chamber deep within the treacherous tunnels of hell.
It is heavily guarded by demonic creatures, but we secured it nonetheless. Bringing Mario's body back to the Mushroom Kingdom is our top priority. We must ensure that he receives a proper burial, regardless of our personal feelings towards him. I still can't believe we're going to all this trouble for that miserable plumber. I despised him when he was alive, and I see no reason to show him any respect in death. Our allegiance lies with Bowser, and it is our duty to carry out his orders. Personal opinions aside, Mario's body represents a significant piece of history that must be handled with care. I understand our duty, but I can't help but question the purpose of this endeavor. We've always despised Mario, and now we're going to great lengths to honor him. It feels contradictory. Our personal opinions must not cloud our judgment. Bowser has made it clear that this is an important task for the stability of the kingdom. We must put aside our feelings and carry out our orders with unwavering dedication. Very well, Commander. I will suppress my feelings and fulfill my duty. Let us plan the retrieval operation, ensuring we have adequate resources to navigate the dangerous tunnels and protect Mario's body. That is the spirit, soldier. Remember, our loyalty lies with Bowser and the Mushroom Kingdom. We may have despised Mario, but our duty remains unchanged.
Despite their internal conflicts, the Koopa Troopas understood the importance of their mission. Their loyalty to Bowser compelled them to set aside their personal feelings towards Mario and carry out their duty with diligence. They would embark on the perilous journey through the treacherous tunnels, driven by duty rather than genuine reverence. In this delicate balance between personal beliefs and unwavering allegiance, they would ensure that Mario's body returned to the Mushroom Kingdom, laying to rest the turbulent chapter of their shared history. As the funeral for Mario approached, so did winter. On a snowy day, the Mushroom Kingdom gathered to bid farewell to their fallen hero, Mario. The streets were filled with somber faces, mixed emotions, and the weight of history hanging heavy in the air. Yoshi and his dragon stood ready, prepared to carry Mario's coffin to its final resting place. Bowser, his gaze fixed on the procession, felt a pang of conflicted emotions. He had been both friend and foe to Mario, their battles etching scars on their souls. But today, as Mario's body was carried by Yoshi, Bowser couldn't help but reflect on the complexity of their relationship.
Mario, we were destined to be adversaries, forever locked in this dance of conflict. But amidst our battles, I recognize your strength, your unwavering determination. Today, I mourn the loss of a worthy opponent, a warrior who shaped the very fabric of our kingdom.
Princess Peach, her eyes filled with tears, stood by Bowser's side, silently mourning the passing of the man she had loved and, at times, despised.
Mario, your absence leaves a void in my heart. Our relationship was fraught with confusion and conflicting emotions. But today, as the snowflakes fall, I remember the moments of warmth and genuine connection we shared. Farewell, my dear Mario, may you find peace.
Luigi, burdened by grief, walked alongside the procession, his steps heavy with sorrow. The loss of his brother weighed heavily on his shoulders, and he couldn't help but question if there was more he could have done.
Mario, I failed you as a brother. I couldn't protect you, couldn't save you from your own demons. In your absence, I carry the weight of regret, wishing I had done more to mend our fractured relationship. Rest in peace, dear brother, your legacy lives on.
Amidst the mourners, the common Goombas of the Mushroom Kingdom gathered, each carrying their own memories of Mario, their own tales of triumph and hardship.
Citizen 1, voice choked with emotion, he was a hero to some, a villain to others. But he was undeniably a force to be reckoned with. Mario's strength and courage inspired us all, for better or worse.
Citizen 2, voice trembling, we may have feared him, but we also admired his determination. Today, we mourn the loss of a legend, a figure who will forever be etched in the annals of Mushroom Kingdom history.
As the procession made its way through the snow-covered streets, a collective sadness filled the air. Tears were shed, both by those who loved Mario and those who had feared him. But amidst the tears and the cold, a shared understanding emerged that Mario's legacy was intertwined with the very fabric of the Mushroom Kingdom. The snowy day marked not only the end of a life, but the beginning of a myth, forever woven into the tapestry of Mushroom Kingdom history. Mario would be remembered as a complex figure, a great warrior, and an enduring symbol of bravery and perseverance. And as the procession reached its destination, the Mario Mausoleum in the Koopa Crypt, the kingdom bid its final farewell. The echoes of their tears and memories reverberated through the chambers, ensuring that Mario's name would live on, immortalized in the hearts and minds of all who knew his story. Toad stepped up to the altar and began his sermon.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed members of the Mushroom Kingdom, we gather here today to bid farewell to a figure who has left an indelible mark upon our hearts and our history. We come together to remember Mario, a man of remarkable courage and tenacity, whose life was intertwined with both triumphs and challenges. Let us not forget the incredible feats Mario achieved throughout his existence. With every leap, every jump, and every courageous step, he became the embodiment of perseverance, reminding us that even in the face of adversity, we can find the strength to overcome. But as we reflect upon Mario's life, let us also acknowledge his imperfections, for he was not without faults. His rivalry with Bowser, a force that defined his journey, brought both triumph and tragedy. There were moments when his actions, driven by his desire to save Princess Peach, left a trail of chaos and destruction in their wake. Yet, in this solemn moment, let us remember that Mario was a man burdened by the weight of his own choices and the expectations thrust upon him. We must approach his faults with empathy and understanding, recognizing the complexities of his journey and the battles he fought within. Princess Peach, your tears speak volumes, for your relationship with Mario was one of intricate entanglement. Your love for him was both a source of solace and confusion, and today, as you weep, we stand beside you, sharing in your grief and offering our support. To the citizens of the Mushroom Kingdom, your tears are a testament to the impact Mario had on your lives. Whether you saw him as a hero or a villain, he undeniably left an indelible mark upon your hearts. Your emotions, both sorrowful and heartfelt, remind us of the multifaceted nature of his legacy. In this moment, we find solace in the knowledge that Mario's life was not defined by a singular narrative. He was a hero, a villain, a warrior, and a symbol. He embodied the very essence of the Mushroom Kingdom, a realm of contrasting colors, where darkness coexisted with light, and where heroes and villains danced their eternal dance. As we bid farewell to Mario, let us remember him as a flawed hero, one whose actions spoke of both valor and vulnerability. May his legacy serve as a reminder that within each of us lies the capacity for greatness and fallibility.
So, as we lower Mario into the embrace of the earth, let us shed tears not only for the loss we feel but also for the complexities of his life. Let us honor his memory by striving to be compassionate, understanding, and resilient, as he was in the face of countless challenges. May his spirit find eternal peace, and may his memory forever be a guiding light in the Mushroom Kingdom's history and myth. Suddenly Bowser put his claws up as if to stop the service.
Bowser turned to his trusted dragon priest, who possessed ancient and mystical knowledge. With a mixture of solemnity and hope, the priest presented a rare life mushroom, known for its ability to restore life. Bowser's heart swelled with a newfound empathy for Mario, understanding the profound impact his revival could have on Princess Peach's happiness.
Bring out the mushroom of life!
With bated breath, the life mushroom was administered to the fallen hero. Miraculously, Mario's lifeless form began to stir, his body infused with renewed vitality. The Mushroom Kingdom, witnessing this extraordinary event, erupted in joy and relief. Mario, now given a second chance at life, awoke to a world that had undergone a profound transformation. The Bowsists, united under Bowser's leadership, had captured the kingdom not to oppress, but to usher in a new era of fairness and equality. The once divided citizens found common ground, working together to rebuild what had been lost.
It's me. Mario.
Princess Peach, her heart torn between two loves, saw Mario's revival as a testament to the power of compassion and forgiveness. She realized that her choice was not between Mario and Bowser, but rather a commitment to the ideals of unity and harmony that both had symbolized. In a poignant moment of reconciliation, Mario nodded to Princess Peach and Bowser, who stood together, setting aside their past conflicts and embracing a shared vision of a better Mushroom Kingdom. They vowed to work as a triumvirate, each bringing their unique strengths to the table for the betterment of their land and its Goombas. With the revival of Mario, the kingdom found hope in the power of redemption and the capacity for change. The Mushroom Kingdom flourished under the joint leadership of Mario, Princess Peach, and Bowser, who, in their newfound unity, set an example of understanding, forgiveness, and the transformative power of love. And so, the Mushroom Kingdom embarked on a new chapter in its history, guided by the lessons learned from the past and the collective determination to build a future that embraced compassion, equality, and the potential for redemption. In the wake of Mario's revival and the unification of the Mushroom Kingdom under the joint leadership of Mario, Princess Peach, and Bowser, a profound transformation took place. The once turbulent land blossomed into the Democratic Republic of Mushroom, a beacon of transparency, efficiency, and civic participation. Embracing the values of democracy, the leaders of the newly formed republic initiated sweeping reforms to ensure a government that served the needs and aspirations of its citizens. They recognized that trust and openness were the foundations of a thriving society, and they set out to create a system that reflected these principles. Transparency became the cornerstone of the new government. Every decision, every policy, and every action was made accessible and visible to the citizens of the Mushroom Kingdom. Through open forums, town hall meetings, and online platforms, Goombas were invited to engage with their leaders, ask questions, and voice their concerns. Citizens were encouraged to actively participate in the decision-making process, as their ideas and perspectives were seen as vital to the success of the Republic. Collaborative initiatives were launched, enabling individuals from all walks of life to contribute their expertise and insights to shape policies and programs. To ensure efficiency, the government embraced modern technology and streamlined processes. Paperwork was replaced by digital systems, enabling quick and accurate dissemination